Good morning and welcome to the Summit Wellness Center. This facility is the first of its kind in the country, and we are so grateful to be able to offer this to the men and women, to the heroes of the Louisville Metro Police Department. I am Rebecca Grignon-Reeker. I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of the Louisville Metro Police Foundation, and I just want to thank each and every one of you that are in the room today that made this possible. This is an incredible gift that is being looked at nationwide and even in other nations to replicate this for their officers, and we did it first. And so we're trying to share it out, and I don't want to tell them that Louisville is like the most amazing town ever, so we're just trying to share it all out with them and let them copy it. So thank you guys for making this possible. I hope you had the opportunity this morning. If you look into the back of the room, these are our heroes that work our specialty units. So they work SWAT and bomb and K-9. I hope you had a chance to go back. Yes. I knew you guys were my people. If you did not have the opportunity to go back there and visit them, please make the opportunity after we wrap up. You can touch some of the equipment they use every day to protect us and learn more about it. And you can also tour the Summit Wellness Center and get to know what our officers get to experience daily. I have the great honor and privilege of introducing the chairman of the board, Jim Ellis. Jim has been with the Louisville Metro Police Foundation since its inception. He has served for 8 years as the chairman of the board, and every officer on this department knows if they need anything, they only need to call Jim. Jim will reach into his pocket. He will personally cover things that cannot be covered. He is the champion of our officers, and I'd like you to welcome him today.
Good morning, everybody. There's kind of an echo. I guess you've noticed it. So if I say something that's really crazy, raise your hand. Mayor Greenberg, Chief Humphrey, and everybody here today, I'm proud and honored to have been the chairman and still be the chairman of the Louisville Metro Police Foundation. If you look around in this building, I want to do a little history. When we, as the board, had an idea of a wellness center a couple of years ago, our board really discussed it back and forth. Is this something we should do? How would we fund it? How would we get it paid for? What's the purpose? And the purpose is to serve the men, women of our community that are first responders. And there's a big turnout, as you can see, of a lot of the officers that are here. So we had a public-private project that raised funds for this building. The names of the companies and the individuals are so many that I cannot name those. But downstairs on the first level, there's a hallway that has everybody's name, almost everybody's name, that has contributed in some way or form to the creation of this facility. So once we decided to purchase the building, then we had to figure out how to pay for it. And like I said before, the public and private partnership came together, and our board, with their knowledge of who in the community would be willing to step up and pay towards this building it really worked. And as of today, this building is paid for. Now, the building as you see it was not as it was when we bought it. There was a lot of work that went into it. I'll just show you what's in this room. The floor was completely resurfaced. The basketball goals and everything else had to be done. The workout facilities, a lot of the equipment was donated, the TVs. So this has become a place where our officers can come and get mental help if they need it. They can get physical therapy if they need it. They can get mental structure. They can fraternize with other officers and sit and talk about, this is what happened to me today, and how did you handle a certain situation. There's also financial advisors in this building to help them. And we have staffed this facility with experts that can help our officers with that. And if you look around the room, there's a corrections, a EMS, fire department, and LMPD. So this building is actually for all first responders, but our main purpose when we started was LMPD. And it has gone from a dusty, dirty place to this immaculate place. Later today, or later this morning, not today, it'll be over in a little while, you're going to hear testimonials from some of the officers that have benefited from this site. So a year ago today, we had our grand opening. Since that grand opening, this is what we have. It's complete. It has become a model for wellness centers around the country and even in some other countries. Other police departments have come and looked at this place and were amazed at how we did it with the public-private partnerships that we did. Rebecca, I don't know if she's going to touch on this because she was more involved in getting that done. Over 50 police chiefs have been through here and toured it, and they are going to try to emulate this facility. And I think it's a credit to our community and a lot of people in this room who worked so hard to get this done. And when we look around at it now, our board members, we really debated on whether to take this step. So we purchased the building, as I said, and Mayor Greenberg, through his administration, was good enough to say, we will take a lease and lease the property from you, and we will run it. We will take care of it, help take care of it, and we need this for the well-being of our officers. So that's a little history of how we got here, and from the opening day last October until today, everything in here has changed for the new and for the better. And I'm just as proud as I can be for these officers that they have a place to come, they can get snacks, they can come write reports, and they don't feel like they're under the watch of chief, they're not under the watch of the command staff at all times. They can come here and relax and sit in a lounge and enjoy themselves, which is not a big part of policing. It's a stressful job, and they can come here and feel a little bit more comfortable. So, like I said, there's going to be some video testimonials that will be shown in a few minutes. They told me I had 3 minutes to talk. I've been over that 3 minutes. So now it is my honor for the first time to introduce the next speaker, because the last time that I introduced Chief Humphrey, he was the interim Chief Humphrey. And now I would like to introduce not only the Chief of Police, Paul Humphrey, but my friend, Chief Humphrey.
Good morning. Today is an absolutely amazing day. I think, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody here. So many of you played such an integral role in making this happen that, as Jim said, it would be impossible to name everyone. But if we go back just 2.5, 3 years, this started off as just an idea. When we talked about officer wellness needing to be front-loaded, that officers needed to know that people cared about them, that this community cared about them, that this agency cared about them, we had some ideas, and I don't know that if you went back and asked us then if we had any clue that it would turn into this. The power of ideas and the power of collaboration, when you bring that together and you give people the freedom to run, and then you have the support of the mayor. One of the very first conversations when he was mayor-elect that we had was about how he wanted to support the police department. And I immediately put the brakes on that and I said, hold on, we've heard the word support numerous times. What do you mean by support? And when it was pretty clear that he was legitimate about supporting the police department and supporting first responders, the energy that got poured into this project right away that got this over the hump and made sure that this got done was absolutely amazing. And so thank you to the mayor, thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone that has put blood, sweat, and tears into this facility, because everyone who has done that has not done that for their own benefit. They have done it to serve others. And this facility, this wellness unit, this bureau, this performance bureau, is about taking care of others. And it is absolutely amazing to see this image, this collection of people, and what we have done. Major Edlin and the mayor are going to give you some statistics. Statistics don't sum up what this facility has done. This is about the culture of taking care of people. And again, I want to reemphasize, just thank you so much for all of the support. Let's continue this progress and let's go forward, making this community a safer place.
All right, good morning, everybody. First off, I'm Brian Edlin. I'm the major of LMPD's first and best division here at LMPD. I'm not as polished as our chief and our mayor and others, and so I'm going to have to refer to some notes here in the beginning, so excuse me for that. But another fantastic division, this performance division that was just mentioned by the chief, in which the Summit Wellness Center falls within this division, it's also an amazing division. What makes it so great isn't just the fact that we have this amazing facility and all these resources, but it is the people who do the work every single day here. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I want to touch upon a little bit. Many of you know, some of you don't, that don't know me. I have some similarities to the chief in which I grew up in a policing family. My father is actually here somewhere in this room right now. And I was able to see from a very young age what pride and professionalism and wearing this badge and uniform actually represents and means. And so because of the mentorship and the guidance I had from him and from many other mentors and friends in this profession and outside of this profession, I've been given a great opportunity with some of that mentorship to pick me up when I make mistakes and to hold me accountable when I make those mistakes, but praise me when things go right. That's essentially what this performance division does for all of LMPD. So that's just a quick background explanation of what the performance division does for all in improving performance here at LMPD. Now, this profession can be very rewarding and draining. It can be exhilarating and boring. It can also be dangerous and fun. Now, there's no secret about some of the dangers in policing. Unfortunately, there are hidden dangers in this profession that we all experience from scenes and experiences that happen throughout the many years. Research has shown that the nature and experiences within this profession can lead to a variety of horrible negative outcomes, such as high suicide rates, high rates of heart disease. We often die very early, within 5 years of retirement, as studies show. We have high divorce rates and some of the highest debt-to-income ratios in any career throughout the country. Now, I'm sorry to be a downer while you're eating your breakfast, but because of the amazing people that are here in this room and are on that wall downstairs, we're changing that culture here in Louisville. Because of the people in the performance division that work in this building every day, we're changing those statistics. This team conducted and found all of that research. And a meeting happened in early May of 2022 where an opportunity presented itself between the Police Foundation, Rebecca, and Impetus for a Better Louisville. In that meeting, it was set up to just simply see how they could be helpful to us, which tells you everything you need to know about people like that. But there was an overall mission of how we can improve together, collaboratively, the relationship between community and police. In this meeting, we talked about a dream world, what some would consider a dream world, in which Louisville could solve these problems and be a national model that cares for its officers, employees, and first responders throughout the community, not just for the job they do, but as valued members of a workforce. And in doing so, imagine that positive impact we would have throughout this community here in Louisville. The 5 pillars of wellness that you see here on the logo and all across the building that are the main priorities and foundational principles of what we do in this building and how we support our people was developed by Lieutenant Lopez and team. And it was presented during this meeting to talk about how we needed to have this holistic approach where we could have an off-site dedicated facility, because the research showed we could really break the stigma and the barriers surrounding mental health and seeking out help and help-seeking behaviors for all of us if we had a dedicated off-site facility. Now, luckily, because of the people here today, many of them were in that meeting on that very day in May 2022. Steve Galt and others found this building that is essentially move-in ready to go. A lot of work went into it to make it what it is today, but it's the perfect place for us to move in and do these amazing things that we now have. The new at the time, Mayor Greenberg and his Chief of Staff, David Kaplan, along with others throughout the administration, really prioritized this initiative and helped secure funding for that lease agreement that the Director, Jim Ellis, just mentioned. They also helped secure funding for a variety of mental health services with our friends at Shelton Forensic Psychology, who have offices back behind me on the backside of this facility, and a physical therapy musculoskeletal rehabilitation contract with our friends from Pro Team Tactical, which you'll hear some amazing statistics involving them here shortly. Those two groups are directly involved in saving careers and lives here at LMPD and these other first responders within this city. Like I said, 18 months of an idea to fruition is extremely fast, especially in government work. Now we're here celebrating 1 year. 1 year. It's an amazing accomplishment. I can't thank you all enough. And I'm going to touch upon some of those quick results of what we've seen in that year. In this 1 year, we've had over 21,000 visits by employees and families. We've served more than 350 employees with mental health services directly through that contract with Shelton Forensic Psychology. Pro Team has added major credibility to all of us as an entire staff within LMPD, and has been here even before the grand opening, and their mission of treating first responders as professional athletes has taken off in profound ways. Over 170 employees have taken financial literacy-related classes, and recently, in this very room, we held a Halloween event in which over 300 first responders from these 4 organizations and their families came in and celebrated and partied together and brought families and building that camaraderie and pride in working for this great city. Now, these statistics show on paper how things are working and that these investments matter. But what you can't put on paper are the lives that are actually changing. And I'm going to call out somebody who's in this room here today, and I have permission to do it, for a life that has been changed. Assistant Chief Corey Robinson, where are you? I know you're here. So he's in the back of the room. And about a year ago, Assistant Chief Robinson, he was pre-diabetic, he was on blood pressure medicine, but he, because of these investments and because of his mindset and work ethic to better himself, showed up just about every single day. He eats healthy with the ready-made meals we have, and he works out with Pro Team through our strength and conditioning coach, Kerry Nelson, and now he's lost over 50 pounds. He's off the medicine that he was on, and he is better for assisting and leading all of us at LMPD and serving this community because of these great resources we have. So, give a hand to Kerry. Corey is like a model. Look at him. He's a model now. Beautiful in that uniform, represents this uniform well. But now you all and us, we're a model. We are truly a model here. This public-private collaborative approach is the national model. We just recently received a national award through the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. that highlighted the amazing collaboration that this took. It also highlighted the amazing work of the people in this building that I mentioned earlier, and our health and safety officers who directly impact saving our lives when we're injured, but also saving the lives of many people in the community when they are injured because of the TACMED training and the equipment we now receive. We have hosted over 60 agencies from all over the country here in this center and have presented this public-private collaborative model to them in hopes that they can change their communities and support their law enforcement and first responders. We host the University of Louisville Southern Police Institute Administrative Officers course. Dr. Campbell's here from U of L. People from all over the country, police leaders, come here to see this. We just spoke 2 weeks ago at the International Association of Chiefs of Police to an international audience about this collaborative approach. And because of all of you and the people along that wall downstairs, we are that national and international model of wellness. And it's an honor here today to have these 4 words at our back of we have your back. That's a message from you all and from this mayor, and I'm honored to go ahead and introduce and bring our mayor up, who's happy to speak with those four words at his back, showing his support for all of us in law enforcement. And I just want to say thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Major Edelin. Your leadership on this project and so many other things at LMPD is greatly appreciated by all of us in this room, around the community. It's great to be with you, with Jim, with the chief, with Rebecca, with so many others. We've got some really great other elected officials who also are strong supporters of LMPD and do such important public service here in our community. Council members Blackwell and Fowler and Batson, thank you for your support of this initiative, for your support of our first responders, to our Commonwealth Attorney, Jarena Weathers, to our Jefferson County Circuit Court Clerk, David Nicholson, who is, there's David. Thank you guys so much for joining me in supporting this initiative and supporting our police, supporting our community. Today is a great day of celebration. Celebrating, I just learned this morning, thank you, Cece. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle. We are celebrating my and Rachel's 25th wedding anniversary today, and the first anniversary of the Summit Wellness Center. It is a great day for anniversaries here in Louisville, and so I'm thrilled to be with all of you all. We created this, as you've heard, we created this center because having healthier officers and first responders is essential. And we need folks on the job that make it possible for every resident in every corner of our city to feel safe and to be safe in their neighborhood and in their daily lives. And that's why protecting public health and public safety is my #1 priority as mayor. I also have made a commitment to the community, as I know others have in this room, to do things the right way, to keep our citizens safe while also ensuring accountability and transparency. And that's a lot. As a city, we ask of our police officers, of all of our first responders, to put their lives on the line and go into difficult and dangerous situations that can take a toll on their health, on their mental, physical, spiritual, social, and financial health. We ask them to make an incredible commitment to all of us. And so I strongly think that it is the right thing to do, that all of us and others return the favor and make a commitment to them. And so that's why when I heard about this idea nearly 2 years ago when I was first elected, I knew that we wanted to get involved, and as the chief said, be supportive. It was a great idea, an innovative idea, and it needed some help from Metro government to be a champion. I saw this as an early opportunity to show the city that we were changing the culture of our entire city government, that some folks that thought historically had always started with no, and let's lead with yes. Because it was so clear that yes, opening the Summit Wellness Center was the right thing to do. It was the smart thing to do. It would help us establish the right culture for our police department, provide a greater level of support for all of our police officers and other first responders, and show the city that LMPD and our city government was moving in a new direction. And so that's why I was so proud to work with all the individuals that I just mentioned, everyone at the Louisville Police Foundation, donors, partners, so many others in this room. I know I'm going to miss some, but just to name a few, I would like to thank, as Major Edelin mentioned earlier, my Chief of Staff, David Kaplan, who took the lead and helped get this happen. And so many other individuals and organizations. We've got the Steves, Steve Galt, Steve Bass, Steve Poe, who were so helpful. Sandra Frazier, Jennifer Hancock, David Nickleys, the entire Impetus Group, the entire Police Foundation, and so many more working with Rebecca, LMPD, and others to make this happen. And thanks to that partnership that came together, we are now here all celebrating the 1-year anniversary of this amazing project. Amazing project not just in the physical sense that we see here today, but amazing because of what you've heard it has done to support our police officers and our first responders. Major Edelin just talked about some of the praise that we've heard and that this center has received. Jim said earlier about some of the even international acclaim. Well, to me, possibly the best praise that we could get is from the United States Department of Justice, who has not always said the most flattering things about our police department or about our city. But in conversations that I've had with the DOJ and visits that they've made here with Chief Humphrey and others, the Department of Justice has also commended the work right here at the center and puts this up as a national model for other police departments to emulate. That's right. For all of these reasons, it's why I was here earlier this year to give my State of the City address right here in this room, to show this facility off to the entire community. Because this should be not just a prideful location for LMPD. This is a prideful location for the entire city. It's a great recruiting tool for LMPD, but it's also a great example that when we all work together as a community in partnership, we can get things done. We can get things done quickly when we want to, when we need to, when we must, and that we can create great results. You've heard some of the great results already, and I'm thrilled to share with you a couple of more great results that the folks that work here in this building have already helped make happen for our police department and for our city. One of the categories that we track is total number of days away from work after officers have work-related injury or illnesses. At this point last year, at this point in 2023, that number just for LMPD was over 2,700 days away from work because of work-related injury or illness. 2,700 days. Today, just 1 year later, in the first year of the Summit Wellness Center, that number is just over 700 days. That is 2,000 fewer days missed. That is a huge difference. That's a huge difference in the health of every one of these officer lives who is getting better quicker, and that's a huge difference for our city. That our officers, which we all know we're short, we need more great officers to join the men and women of LMPD. But in the meantime, they're back at work helping to keep our community safe. And I know some people like to talk about dollars and cents. Well, here you go. Over the first 10 months of this year, since the Summit Wellness Center has been open, it has helped us dramatically reduce the city's cost for workers' compensation claims. Already this year, the city has saved over $1.2 million in fewer workers' comp claims, I believe, as a result of the great work that's happened right here at the Summit Wellness Center. That is truly extraordinary. So to sum it all up, this project is so important for so many reasons. It has shown that it is a great financial investment for the city. It has shown that LMPD is a new organization that is moving in a new direction under new leadership of Chief Humphrey, and in a new way to ensure that LMPD is working with the community in the right ways to keep our community safe. And it also shows that we as a community can get stuff done. When we work together, the public sector with the private sector, with the nonprofit community, with the state of Kentucky, that when we work in partnership, we can make things happen. This Summit Wellness Center and other initiatives that we have been working on over the past year show that we have great momentum in our city. So many things are moving in the right direction now. Let's capitalize on this momentum, continue to replicate the success of what's been accomplished here at this building all across our city, to continue to improve LMPD, to continue to improve our other agencies that support our first responders, continue working together to make Louisville safer, stronger, and healthier. Thank you all so much for each one of your support. Without your support in the past, without your continued support, we couldn't continue to make things like this happen. And without the support of this next person, none of this would have happened. None of this would continue. Let's welcome back up to the podium the Executive Director of the Louisville Metro Police Foundation, Rebecca Grignon-Reeker.
It is so exciting to be a part of this, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to come out today to celebrate with us. You guys have done something that is unheard of, and I hope it's going to be heard of more now that everybody's getting over here and the DOJ is sending them to us. So if you'll look on your table, you have a handout on your table. If you'll flip it over, you'll see the 5 pillars of wellness that has been mentioned throughout our talks today. And these provide lifelines to our officers to equip them and make them more resilient. But sometimes, as we all know, life happens, bad things happen, and we want to be there. The Louisville Metro Police Foundation's mission is to be there for our officers and their families when there is crisis. I want to say a big thank you to our officers who bravely shared their stories and were vulnerable, and to Red Tag Media for producing that video for us. That is essentially our Officer in Distress Fund. We equip our officers here. Brandon Haley has worked out here. Different people have recovered here. But sometimes they need a little extra financial help. And I want to invite you this morning. You guys have big hearts. I want to invite you to be a part of this as well. We've made the Wellness Center. Now come with me to the hospital. Walk into Nick Wilt's hospital room and hand him that first check. Stand beside a woman who knows that her husband is not coming home, and show her that she will never be forgotten. So I'm going to invite you to join with us to support our Officer in Distress Fund. Every dollar that you give will go 100% to the officers to help them and to help their children. You have a packet in the middle of your table. You can fill that out there, or there are QR codes to scan on the way out. I just want to thank you guys for seeing our officers at their most vulnerable. Look around at the back of the room. These people are humans just like us. They get up every morning and they put on a uniform and they walk out the door, and they don't know if they'll be back. And they do it for us. They do it for their families. They do it for the Louisville community. And I am telling you, I have never been more proud to be a member of the Louisville community. So thank you guys so much for what you have done, for what you will continue to do, and thank you so much for supporting my family and supporting LMPD. I love you guys. Give yourselves a big hand. Let's stand up. Give yourselves a hand.